Tonight, as staffing shortages squeeze the healthcare system, today a massive recruiting effort with a big push for nurses.
A lot of them even pay for your housing and stuff to move. They're that desperate, travel nursing, it's a great opportunity.
In fact, there was so much interest, organizers had to extend the hours and even turn away some hospitals wanting to take part.
I mean, we keep saying it over and over and over. How many times does this need to happen?
Calls for action and accountability after a Toronto woman's wheelchair is damaged during a flight. To the world, she was the Queen. To them, she was simply Granny, the Queen's grandchildren holding vigil around her coffin as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau meets with the King. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more on those stories in a moment. But first, we want to take you to some breaking news just coming into the newsroom. A third person has now died after that shooting rampage earlier this week in the GTA. Halton police say 28-year-old Satwinder Singh, an international student, has died at Hamilton General Hospital. He was working part-time at MK Auto Repairs in Milton when he was shot on Monday. The shop's owner, Shakil Ashraf, was also killed. Another man suffered minor injuries. The shooting at the auto shop happened after 40-year-old Sean Petrie allegedly opened fire on Toronto police officer Andrew Hong in Mississauga. Police believe the suspect was targeting an officer. He then allegedly carjacked and shot another man who is expected to survive before driving to that body shop in Milton. Petrie himself was killed after an encounter with police at a Hamilton cemetery. The SIU now investigating. As always, you can head to our website, cbcnews.ca, for the latest. In other news tonight, a Mississauga transit worker is dead after an accident involving a bus this morning. It happened at the Central Parkway Maintenance Garage. Bonnie Crombie spoke about it this afternoon.
These kinds of workplace accidents shouldn't happen in our city, and I know there will be an investigation. But right now, I'm just devastated at the news that there was a very tragic workplace accident that resulted in a fatality.
Very few details are known at this hour. Peel Police and the Ministry of Labour say the investigation is ongoing. Staffing shortages in healthcare, it's something we've been talking a lot about lately. In some cases, ERs have been forced to shut down or reduce hours. Well, today, a massive recruiting effort was underway. Farah Morelli takes us there.
Shoulder-to-shoulder crowds and winding lineups were the sight at this healthcare job fair, where would-be employers spent the day trying their best to woo healthcare workers, like recent nursing grads Rachel Blakeney and Emma Stewart.
A lot of the people, the recruiters here are super excited. Every time we say a nurse, somebody jumps up and grabs another person and brings them over. They're like, we're gonna hire you, you send us your resume.
We're so young, we're only 20. And so it's we have no commitments to this area. So it's why not take the opportunity and kind of go venture out.
There's been so much interest, organizers had to extend the hours and even turn away hospitals wanting to take part.
We've had more registrations at this event than any of our healthcare job fairs globally.
The fair is happening as the province grapples with patient volume and a major shortage of healthcare staff. The Children's Hospital in Eastern Ontario is on pace to see a record number of ER visits this month. And in provinces across the country, some ERs are being forced to close their doors because they simply don't have enough staff.
With this national nursing shortage that we have, I wish that we were an exception right now, but like every jurisdiction, we're still suffering from nursing shortages.
The goal of some employers, trying to get workers to relocate.
I think this is why these type of fundraisers or events are just so important, just so we can really recruit and spread the name that, in Nunavut, it's an incredible place to work.
The range in opportunities surprised some recruits.
They actually were oh, do you have a resume? We'll take you right away. Do you want to have an interview right away? I'm like, oh, really? We could do that on the spot? I would say every single team that I've spoken to, they were really eager to recruit, get you on board.
Though many here have witnessed the healthcare burnout that came with the pandemic, they say they're eager to step in and help.
Even though like we see the burnout, it's frightening to see, but it's like I'm overwhelmed with excitement to start and like get in, and I'm gonna give it my best shot.
A sliver of optimism during challenging times. Farah Morali, CBC News, Toronto.
The Marine unit pulled the body of a woman from the water this morning near Etobicoke. Police say they got the call around 7 a.m. It happened near Marie Curtis Park. They're hoping for witnesses to come forward. And police also asking for some help after finding a body in Windsor earlier this week. Officers were called to Dougal Avenue near the Superstore on Wednesday night. There was a report of a body found by the train tracks. Police say it was severely decomposed. The forensic ID unit is still working to identify the person. Disability advocates are calling for change within the airline industry after a Toronto woman shared her experience last week with CBC News. Mayan Ziv's wheelchair was damaged during a flight to Israel. As Natalie Collada explains, her story is prompting calls for action and accountability.
Something's got to change, and something's got to change right friggin' now. This is enough.
Steve Keane has had his share of experiences with airlines. His wheelchair was damaged in 2009 on a flight from Paris to Venice.
They took away the magic of a trip to two of the world's most romantic cities because they were careless and callous with my chair. They treated it like another piece of garbage luggage. And as a result, one of the most magical trips of my life is tainted.
He says it's time the airline industry makes changes.
Why is it that I can travel on a cruise ship, I can travel on an intercity bus anywhere in North America, I can travel on the train across the country, all throughout North America, and I don't have to get out of my wheelchair. I don't have to leave my wheelchair with anyone. I travel in my wheelchair. It's time the airline industry caught up to the 21st century.
And just like anger. I mean, we keep saying it over and over and over. How many times does this need to happen?
Kristen Hayes is frustrated too. Her wheelchair has been damaged multiple times while flying.
You just really feel helpless, and then not knowing when you're going to get that independence back. And it's all the small things, right? That not having my wheelchair means that I'm not able to do on my own. So even, going to the washroom, washing my hands, having a shower.
The calls for change in the industry for people with disabilities come after CBC Toronto spoke to Mayan Ziv last week. Her wheelchair was damaged on a flight to Israel. She says she's still without an appropriate replacement or adequate accountability.
I think from the perspective of Air Canada, there needs to be an independent review of their end-to-end process of how they serve customers with disabilities.
When CBC reached out this week, Air Canada replied with a similar statement to last week's. Regrettably, in this case, we did not meet our expected service levels. We did respond to this customer's concerns immediately at the Tel Aviv airport, including arranging for a specialized wheelchair service to fix the damage.
I'm on this. I know that this is happening. We are working hard to remedy it.
The minister in charge of disability and inclusion is expected to meet with the Canadian Transportation Agency and Air Canada next week.
This is specialized, expensive, individualized equipment that is the difference between independence and being stuck, right? And then secondly, kind of working out an action plan moving forward. Here's my takeaways. Here's what I expect to see from you in the days, weeks, months to come. Like, what are they, like a concrete set of actions that I can then check in on and see how we're proceeding.
Including, she says, possibly adding accessibility to the Passenger Bill of Rights. Natalie Collada, CBC News, Toronto.
Sophia is here with our first look at the forecast. I think it was Tyson, our producer, earlier that was like, oh my gosh, fall is officially next week. How did that happen?
Yes.
I don't know. It's too soon.
You and I, my friend, who love the summer, this is the last full weekend, of summer. Fall comes in on Thursday, and spoiler alert, it might be cold then, but right now, summer lovers rejoice. We even had a little bit of a haze. It was so warm in the atmosphere today. Cloud cover and fog this morning, some peaks of sun right now, though. But if you like the pumpkin spice lattes, I'll tell you when you can enjoy them right now, though it is still beach weather. 21 right now, 24 for those of you in London. Doesn't fluctuate too much into the overnight period. Will feel like 20. And that summer heat keeps on going for Sunday. It's because of this big overarching warm front. It's like the lid on a pot, keeping all of that heat in. It will also be responsible for some active weather for any of your outdoor events Sunday morning. Showers begin in cottage country. Rain gets heavy up into eastern Ontario. You could have a few odd passing showers through the GTA and up to Barrie, maybe even a rumble of thunder, but the majority of the rain will really come in Sunday overnight into Monday. So Sunday is not a washout. You will have some peaks of sunshine, but Monday morning could be quite wet and soggy for all the kids. We'll go over that in the long range. But first, let's talk quickly about the heat for Sunday. 20 for the morning. That's our usual daytime high. Will feel, though, like 33 for Sunday. We should only be about 21 this time of year, Shannon. So we got a couple more days to squeak out.
We'll take it before we start pounding the lattes.
Agreed. The pumpkin spice.
Talk to you soon. To the UK next, where there is that steady stream of mourners. Tens of thousands of people have waited for hours to pay their respects to the Queen. Her 8 grandchildren today holding vigil around her coffin. Prince William, now the Prince of Wales and heir to the throne, younger brother Prince Harry, and the Queen's other grandchildren surrounded the casket silently, keeping watch. Meantime, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau met with King Charles. As chief political correspondent Rosemary Barton explains, a new monarch brings new challenges.
The official Canadian delegation, made up of the Prime Minister, his wife, the Governor-General, and the High Commissioner and their spouses, started its day by paying tribute to the Queen, by seeing her lying in state, an experience Ralph Goodale describes as sobering.
It drives home the point that this amazing woman, who has been on our throne and on the throne of the United Kingdom for more than 7 decades,
Canada's connection to the monarchy will be on full display at the funeral on Monday, with a large Canadian delegation and members of the Canadian Forces and RCMP playing prominent roles in the procession. That connection is one that is more complicated for some members of Canada's delegation. The Assembly of First Nations National Chief says her presence here is also to remind people.
That long history that covers a period of colonization and genocide against First Nations people in Canada.
The Prime Minister had his first opportunity today to sit down with King Charles in a private audience. Canada may know the new king, but not as well as his mother. And for this former Governor-General, this may be an opportunity.
For many Canadians, the idea was we are very much attached to Elizabeth II, Queen Elizabeth II, but after her, so I think for King Charles III, there's some kind of a challenge right now.
For now, the Canadian delegation will focus on the events of the next couple days and particularly the Queen's relationship with Canada, leaving aside any future conversation about the role of the monarchy. Rosemary Barton, CBC News, London.
The huge lineups to say goodbye to the Queen are making headlines around the world. And according to the Archbishop of Canterbury, they've had a deep impact on the royal family as well. Here's part of what he told CBC News.
When His Majesty the King and the others say we're so encouraged and so helped by the affection that's being shown by the crowds and by the queues, they mean every word of it. That is absolutely reaching their hearts, because this isn't just about the Queen. It seems to be everyone supporting a family that is grieving and recognising the sacrifice and the service they give to our nation and to the Commonwealth and the realms and, in fact, the whole world.
Closer to home now, volunteers are getting together, packing food and supplies to send to those devastated by the floods in Pakistan.
Everything is washed out, like completely. You don't see anything. I mean, you see water up to here. So
we thought we should help them.
We've put out social media posts on Facebook and Instagram. We've contacted all of our friends, families, other organizations to kind of get together, donate the food we need.
They need all kind of help, and this is just a drop in a bucket.
Locals are donating lentils, rice, milk powder, and other essential goods and packaging them to send overseas. Organizers say they've secured free shipping through Pakistan International Airlines. Dozens of people, all ages, volunteering their time. More than 33 million people have been impacted by the climate disaster. Welcome back. Bonnie Crombie is officially kicking off her campaign for mayor in Mississauga today.
It's really a commitment to the people of Mississauga to continue to build on the great work that we have done, to build complete communities in our city. We have a microcosm of Mississauga. I have everybody here from every culture and every community, and I'm grateful for all of their support.
Speaking at her campaign headquarters there, Crombie says she wants to continue as mayor because she believes she offers strong, steady, competent leadership. Crombie was first elected as mayor in 2014. She faces 7 challengers in next month's municipal elections. A longtime neighborhood festival returns to the streets this weekend after a couple of years of pandemic cancellations. The Roncesvalles Polish Festival is back, along with its original name. You may remember this past summer, the local business association removed the word Polish, but reversed that decision after public outcry. This year, there are more than 90 vendors taking part, along with 4 stages and 40 performances. People couldn't be happier to be back.
I am dressed as a giant, sexy pierogi.
And why?
Because it's Polish Fest, and you know what? We have to bring fun and laughter to the street. It's so important. It's amazing to be back. Finally, we get to see all the community again and enjoy all the food and the music, and it's just great to be back.
No, we exhibit our coins, stamps, medals, show the Polish community and also Canadian community as well. What do we do? What do we have?
I had some great experience here today. I made few sales, so it's all good.
And the giant pierogi, you can't beat that. Okay, you may remember this story. Back in 2020, a large statue was stolen from a Toronto neighborhood street. It was a bright spot for so many, and it had sat there peacefully for more than 30 years. Now, as Patrick Swadden explains, we have a happy update.
It's back, that they remade it and that we're lucky to have it here.
Tina Ehrman isn't the only one who's happy to see this statue back. Members of the community were devastated when the original was stolen.
We walked out to our front lawn yesterday morning, and it was gone.
It was a day of mourning for the whole street. Absolutely everybody who walked by, slack-jawed, could not believe that this had happened.
The sculpture was made by renowned Canadian sculptor Leah Vivo over 30 years ago for the Goldman family. But in August 2020, it was stolen overnight, leaving a hole not just in front of the Goldman home, but in people's hearts.
A void, definitely a void, because I walk here often, and just seeing that just would brighten our days.
Police have not been able to recover the original, but Vivo knows how important the sculpture was for the community.
Well, there was a vacuum, there was a void, because especially during the COVID, people still could walk and they enjoy to sit.
So Vivo decided to make another. It's called the Secret Bench of Knowledge, and it's not the only one of its kind. There are 7 sculptures like this sitting across Canada, including one on Parliament Hill. But this one is special for the Goldman family.
Some of them are not here anymore, who contributed the messages on the bench.
Vivo remade the bench with the same messages as the original.
To me, that is the most important, the messages on the bench.
Murray Goldman says he plans to officially unveil the bench this coming week, while members of the community say it will brighten up the neighborhood.
It gives you pleasure to walk by and smile and see art there.
Vivo doesn't know where the original sculpture is now, but she hopes it's gracing someone else's property.
But it must be very lonely because it doesn't have this wonderful neighborhood.
Patrick Swadden, CBC News, Toronto.
Come on,
Mom, go!
Oh, so cute. Thousands of people making their way through downtown Toronto, raising money and awareness for youth mental health programs, all part of the RBC's Race for Kids 5K.
And even though we've discovered that, there still is an enormous gap. There's people who are lost in the system, who have no idea which way to turn, and our goal is to help them find the right match.
And it's giving us great opportunities for conversations just like this, so that we can ensure that people continue to understand, continue to support great causes so that youth can continue to get the supports that they deserve.
Money goes to Sunnybrook's Family Navigation Program. It says during the pandemic, the number of young people reaching out has more than doubled. Well, a video shot by a Sudbury diving instructor has gone viral after he recorded video of a small jellyfish in the city's Ramsey Lake. Fox says he's done hundreds of dives there over a 10-year period, never seen a jellyfish until recently. Now he says he's seen dozens in the last few weeks alone. Fox says the jellyfish won't sting humans because their tentacles are too small. And a little bit of trivia, Sudbury is where we first met. I don't know if we want to date ourselves.
Well,
how long ago that was?
Over a decade ago-ish.
Yeah.
Yep, the Big Nickel, now
Yep.
home of Jellyfish, former home of you and I, Shannon.
There you go. And here we are now talking weather again.
I know, and it was summer when we were there in Sudbury. Good times. Also feeling like summer right now around the GTA thanks to this southwesterly flow. Feeling a little bit more rainy for all of you folks in Sudbury come the next 24 hours though. Feeling like the boys of summer, or feeling perfect for the boys of summer if you're headed out to Rogers Center, feeling like 32 for the big game on Sunday. Can't promise that the roof will be open though. Thunderstorm risk in place for a wide swath of southern Ontario. It is because of all of this atmospheric moisture in place that is making it feel so balmy. So if you do get a storm come through, you could have some heavy downpours, but not withholding a thunderstorm. You're looking at about 5 to 15 millimeters of rain into the south, maybe up to 50 though in the nation's capital region along that warm front, and a little bit more up into cottage country as well. Sunday and Monday are not a washout. Tuesday is lovely, but I want to fast forward ahead to Thursday. Watch what happens, which, folks, is the first day of fall we alluded to earlier. And this big lobe of cold Arctic air comes and sets up shop above us. Folks, it's going to feel for your daytime high what the overnight lows had been previously, just 24 hours previous. A taste of fall for the first day of fall, Shannon.
Okay, we'll take it. And I think it was 2007. That's how old we are when we got our start on air.
Well, we're only 25 now, so
That's
we were
right.
quite young when we started.
We started young. That's our show for tonight. Thanks, everyone, for watching us. We'll see you again soon.